So, next we got Benghazi. I'm going to get to Benghazi. It's not a conspiracy. It's Central Intelligence being Central Intelligence. I'm not going to knock the CIA too much, but... and the FBI and all that. But Central Intelligence and the military, oxymoron right there, like Clint Cowboys. It's intelligence. Like, even if they did know, they probably didn't know what the hell was going on because the news media was blitzing about that damn movie. And it wasn't a YouTube video, Fox. It was not. They had a YouTube trailer. Get the terminology right. They had a trailer for the movie by that weird director guy. That was all over the news. And you were airing it too, Fox. You had it on there too. And you were saying, what's the video caused the Benghazi riot? And you were showing scenes of a riot from Libya from the week earlier. Footage that I had seen from a week earlier. So the Benghazi thing is going on. Apparently just tonight, breaking news on Fox, is probably not true, is that General Petraeus, who was apparently the CIA director, which is bizarre that he's a CIA director, considering he used to be this general in like Iraq or something. They kicked him out of there. He went to this other, Afghanistan. They kicked him out of there. Well, they didn't kick him out, but they kind of moved him along because like he was getting in trouble for saying stuff to Rolling Stone a couple of years ago. I was like, why did they make him the director of the CIA? Well, there's your problem right there. He probably didn't tell the president anything. Like, oh yeah, it's this stupid video over here to cover up this affair that he was having. So it wasn't a conspiracy about the Benghazi guys. It's a conspiracy about this guy's love affair that he was having. He didn't want to let it. If that's the case, then the Fox people got nothing. They really got nothing. So they really have nothing. So there you go. It's all nonsense. Yep. No Benghazi thing. So I'm sure one of the other characters would like to discuss why Romney lost and why Obama won. I'm going to turn to, even though Romney just came off kind of as a flip-flopper too during the debates and things, he would like change his mind halfway through the debate. That third debate, he's just changing his mind everywhere. He's not doing anything that you know. And the Fox people kept complaining about the Benghazi, and Kelly talked about the Benghazi too. And I was thinking yeah, that was not a conspiracy or scandal. And what a conspiracy or scandal is, these people mention it over and over again. Somebody died, you know? People die all the time in wars and troubles and things and terrorist attacks. Why does it have to be a scandal if there's a bad guy who would get killed? Or a good guy would get killed? It's not a scandal, it's just, that's what it is, you know? It's like, the CIA fellers, Central Intelligence and the military. And the government. Is that oxymoron? Might be in some cases. Maybe they did know in advance, but it doesn't matter because somebody didn't get the memo and tell the president, and he kept going on about the video. But then he said, don't be partisan about it in that second debate. So he did mention it. And then Romney never brought it back up. And the Fox people were, no, we didn't bring it back up in the debate. That's why he didn't win. It's like, no, he didn't win because of all the other factors. Okay, Benghazi is not a conspiracy. Benghazi was a mix-up regarding intelligence because they had all the news media covering the ding video, threw everybody off, and even the lady that went and spoke that couple of days later, she thought it was the video. The president knew it wasn't the video. He went on the lawn, vaguely talking about the whole thing, the terrorists in general. And didn't say the video specifically. Well, that's not lying. That's just he didn't know all the facts yet. Even the president didn't know all the facts because the CIA director and the other guys over there, Petraeus, he apparently had some other issues going on that they just revealed. Apparently he was getting a little action. Yep. That's what distracted him completely. So they had to do that to cover up the other thing. And if it's not the case that he was having an affair, then if they're lying about that on Fox, that would be kind of funny. But I thought they liked Petraeus anyway. Yeah, they liked him. They were like, oh, Petraeus, oh. Yeah, I thought they were like insulted when he got kicked out of Iraq for Rolling Stone, at a Rolling Stone article. Wasn't that him? But yeah, so I don't know if it's fair or not. You know, Fox could be making it up, but it was not a conspiracy, because to have a conspiracy, you have to be able to get away with it first, and clearly they didn't get away with anything. And why would they be like wanting 6 people in the consulate to die? That doesn't make any sense. He wouldn't do that. He'd just kill the consulate guys. Oh, but they didn't have enough security or something. Like, I don't know why they didn't do that, but that doesn't mean that they wanted them to go away, to die. It means that they didn't have enough security. Risky. Risky. Okay, you can put it all together. I can put this all together, the Benghazi thing. Yeah, so it wasn't a conspiracy. Yeah. Oh yeah, and it's funny that I thought it was hilarious tonight. The Fox people reporting General Patrius, apparently he was having himself a love affair. That's probably the real reason that the government didn't want to report on it right away, because he was probably screwing around when the report came in. Yeah, I think maybe he was, and they didn't want to add that to it. So they're like, yeah, that's why the memo didn't go through, because they were probably screwed. So there's your conspiracy. That guy wasn't paying attention. He was paying attention to other parts of his anatomy. But that's okay, because he's a general, and a CIA guy. And we're not going to knock the CIA guy. No, not at all. But, so, and as for that guy who's on the TV going, oh, my son died in battle, and he was told not to go in, and he died in battle, and oh, I'm ready for my son. The father guy on Fox rambling about that. I noticed that he's not around so much anymore. I wonder if maybe that story is bogus. Either the son was there or wasn't, or maybe, you know, the military, maybe the sergeant guy, you know, because, you know, like my dad who was a World War II veteran, although he wasn't necessarily a ground trooper or anything, he was in Pacific Theater and all that. So, but he said, you know, the best soldier, you don't want a dead soldier, you want a live soldier. You don't want a martyr soldier, you want a living soldier. It's possible that what really happened, no one knows, but the reason the guy got killed going in there is the sergeant might have told him, or the commander might have told him, hey, it's not a safe zone, it's a hot zone. If you go in there, you might get killed. Maybe he wasn't saying that to cover up some conspiracy. Maybe he was telling him that because he would get killed. And so we're going to wait and go in there later when we know it's safe to go in there, because they don't want to get killed either. They don't want the whole platoon killed. They all pissed off. They would have been if like the whole platoon had been killed. Like, so maybe what the commander was saying was no, you can't go in there because you'll get killed, and then he got killed. So they're all like he's crying foul afterward. But maybe that's what happened. The Latin vote, the black vote, and the ladies vote. I think maybe, actually, it's probably the women's vote. You realize how crazy the Republicans, I was embarrassed for the Republicans. They're all talking about the pro-life, pro-choice thing, and getting rid of Big Bird or some, Big Bird? Big Bird? They were being real crazy. The Sesame Street, it shouldn't be founded by the public. Planned Parenthood might do abortions. That might be bad. We gotta get rid of them. And then they bring in some kook who's saying there's millions of them every year or something. Or they bring in some other kook who's saying different kinds of rape. Or, you know, only the rape where it was like good or bad or something. Rape is bad. Alright? Any rape is bad. It's like, you can't have a guy that says, oh, only certain kinds of rape are bad. You know, it's like George Carlin said, rape was, you know, rape is funny as long as it's Bugs Bunny and Elmer Fudd. You know, so it's like, you know, it's like, you know, that you just, if they hadn't settled that stuff and pissed off all the women, then they would have gotten Romney elected. Because I think the women just turned out in droves and said, hey, the Republican Party sounds nuts. We don't want Romney appointing any of these nutballs. So if we don't elect him, he won't appoint the nutballs. Even though he might not have, they just didn't want to risk it. So there you go. Risk it. So yeah, and Ayn Rand was probably, yeah, that might have been another thing. Ayn Rand, they probably shouldn't be going after Ayn Rand, saying how awesome that is. She was an atheist. And once Paul Ryan and Romney figured that out, they're like, oh. Turns out that Romney's a bigger flip-flopper than Ryan. That's pretty funny. But no, he's an honest man, and they destroyed his heart and destroyed his career. And no, they didn't. His career is not ruined. He can run somewhere else. He can be governor somewhere else. He can go to Arizona and be governor down there. He wants to. He can be governor of Michigan if he wants to. They'll elect him there. So, and he probably will, and maybe he'll come back again. But Mike Huckabee would have been terrible. No, he's boring. Knowing Mitt Romney's future is probably a Fox pundit. He's going to be a guy on Fox. He's probably going to put him on Fox, like they did Sarah Palin. Put Sarah Palin on Fox, and she didn't even win. She was a vice presidential candidate. Didn't win. Sarah Palin could come on the Kal Kat show and go, well, don't you know, this show is too liberal for me, don't you know? And I'm doing a fake Minnesota accent because I don't really know how to do it. Because I'm not from Fargo. But my ancestors are from Duluth, so I know how to do it. I know how to do the accent. It was funny to see Hannity and O'Reilly and them kind of going, self-destructing during the election. Obama won pretty quick there. It's interesting. And he's not a Muslim, and he's not a socialist. I don't know why they're getting at. He's a Christian. He's not as radical as they thought he was. He's not a socialist. As I explained, we had Tom Brooks explaining socialism earlier. So, one of my characters. But, yeah, so, no conspiracy. And that's the election. There you go. The election aftermath stuff saying this is why it happened. Republican Party, we want you guys to stop being crazy loco. Now, go back to the center like Reagan was. Reagan was almost a Democrat in a way. He was very centrist. Lincoln was centrist. As I keep mentioning Abraham Lincoln, like he was a bastion of republicanism. Well, first of all, even O'Reilly pointed out, well, before the Civil War, it was the Democratic Republicans and the Whigs. It's a different kind of dynamic. And the Democratic Republicans and the other Democrats who were actually way over there, actually they were reversed back then. And they were the Republicans were the progressives back then. So it was reversed. So Lincoln was actually like a Democrat, not a Republican. Which is interesting. And so it was reversed, and he was like, I want change and progress and progressiveness and free the slaves and all that. That's very Democrat. So that's what he was. And then Kennedy, during the Kennedy years, he also was, of course, a Democrat, but he had evolved by then. See, the Democratic Republicans split up and became the Democrat Party and the Republican Party. But the old Democrat Party is gone. That's why the Republican Party calls itself the GOP, the Grand Old Party. They're not grand, they're just old. Yeah. As some of my Democratic siblings might say, they might dissolve. Yes, and this episode is a post-election wrap-up. Obama won. Romney won. And yeah, we should have said, hey, Hannity and O'Reilly, I will bet you, before the election, we should have said that, I'll bet you 1,000 that Obama wins. And they would say, okay, because we know our guy's going to win, Romney. And then I would be $1,000 richer. But I did not do that. And then the other guys are all down there, and they're all, and they're down there. I'm thinking, well, like the Kal Kat show is always contacting the O'Reilly factor. Actually, we only contacted them twice in the past year or so. But yeah, we don't contact them all the time. We contacted the Young Turks a couple times recently, but not O'Reilly. Contacted the Young Turks to discuss the nature of race relations and women's rights and things like that, just to see if any trolls would comment, and of course they did. And even though we were totally like, well, actually, sort of centrist about that. You Republican, get out of here. And the joke at the Kal Kat show was that behind the scenes was that Romney and Obama went in the bathroom like before the debate, and they saw each other's junk, and they were like, actually Romney's pretty big. Obama, so I don't know if he is, but that was a joke. So that's why he almost won the debate, because he's pretty big. Obama probably said, "Well, I see, Mr. Romney, that you're rather endowed for a white dude." So, yes, I am. But I'm a flip flopper. But I'm not. But I am. I'm not really that big, but I am. Yeah. Yeah, you're big, and not only that, you're very what's that word? Can't think of modest. I can't think of the word right now for a very succinct, I guess, accurate. But because he's not being accurate. But anyway, so Kal Kat show and Obama and won the election, and although Johnny and Elena are annoyed that he won the election, Kal Kat show and Mark's cards not so much. He's not the greatest president ever, but he's not as bad as the Republicans are saying he is. I mean, he's a well. I think they probably realized, hey, Romney's not that great. He's not going to be that great, so we're not going to vote for him. If they'd just been a little stronger on the center Republican issues and not gone off on a tangent about Planned Parenthood, abortion, and all that other weird stuff, gay rights and all that, if they hadn't gone that far over this weird ethereal land that Jon Stewart, the comedy guy, calls Bullshit Mountain, they hadn't gone over there on Bullshit Mountain, then they if they hadn't gone so far to this mountain of BS, then they probably would have had Romney as president. They hadn't done that, but they did. And no, we did not bet anyone over there at Fox. It'd be funny if we did. Kal Kat show's not that famous. Yeah, but the Kal Kat show is everywhere, but it's not that famous because we are like Cowpoke said, we are not profit. Well, the Republicans got to go to center. They got to get rid of the Tea Party. That was a dumb idea. Teabagging party. Yep. And they gotta get rid of all those flamingly racist characters, and those guys that are in the group that are the really bizarre vocal minority. You know, California is not a Democrat state. It's that all the major population centers are. So all the minor population centers are red. Everybody else is blue. We're in the blue area. But everybody else is out there in the red. So it's purple. Well, most states are purple. But this time around, Nevada went to Obama. Although I bet Las Vegas didn't. I think it'd be pretty liberal in Vegas. But yeah, Las Vegas. Maybe that's where Clint Cowpoke is supposedly from, Las Vegas. That would kind of say, actually. Yeah, so... I suspect the prediction is that the Democrats will run again, well, next year. Next 4 years from now. 45 or so. And they'll win again. If the Republicans act as crazy as they're acting now and get worse, they'll win again. They'll have a Democrat who will win again. Which would be hilarious. It would be hilarious because, like, it would be hilarious. It would be like, well, I guess the GOP is really gone. And then that supposed, the Democrats are going to dissolve thing, you know. No, it's going to be the GOP's going to dissolve. That's going to be it. And now, there's nobody running our ads. Eventually, we're going to make videos that actually where we'll allow monetizing. But eventually, probably next season. But we still won't sell out to the advertisers. We still won't sell out to them. So yeah. And then we'll flip-flop. Hey! Flip-flop. Somebody was complaining, it was Riley. O'Reilly's friends were all like, the Democrat Party's going to dissolve now. No, actually, I'm going to make an early guess prediction thing. It ain't a prediction, really. Since the Kal Kat show did call this election, said, yeah, it's going to be Obama. Yeah, so we should have bet on. That Sean Hannity fella should have said, okay, yeah, but I didn't. So he didn't know. But I'm not happy or sad since we're centrist. Now, what Obama's got to do is go to the center, like Kelly. He's got to go to the center. But what the Republicans got to do is do the same. They got to say, okay, well, we do have to raise taxes, but we also have to stop giving to all the wealthy city slickers. Stop doing that. Get to the partisan people. Stop doing that. Well, we're going to pull it up over here. We're going to improve education and jobs and raise taxes and pay for the deficit and the debt. And maybe they should even file the nation Chapter 11 like Clinton did once. Well, he filed for bankruptcy at one point and reset everything. Regulate everything. We got to have regulation. Well, it's very centrist. You got to have regulation and give to the tax. Everybody should pay their fair share of taxes. Why not? And some people say, "Whoa, the Kal Kat show probably doesn't pay taxes. It's probably a nonprofit." But actually, the Kal Kat show is completely nonprofit. Actually, we are not endorsed by any party. There is nobody posting the bill on whatnot, and no, we don't make any money. So, if we started making money on ad revenue and stuff, I suppose we then have to be beholden to the advertisers, not to say stuff about their product that sucks. So, that's what it is. That's the deal. I'm gonna get them moving on now. Hi, kitty. Hi, kitty. Hiding under there. You goofy kitty. You're not supposed to be in there. You're a kitty. Oh, you cute.